In the wide lands of the East, where caravans traced ancient paths through dust and sun, there lived a man whose name was Job. His reputation traveled farther than his flocks. He was known as a man of integrity, steady in his ways, careful with his words, reverent toward God, and unwilling to bend toward evil even when no one was watching. In a world where power and cunning often ruled, Job walked a quieter path, marked by humility and devotion. God had prospered him greatly. His fields stretched far, his herds were countless, and his household was full of life. 7 sons and 3 daughters filled their tents with laughter and music. Servants moved constantly through his estate, tending animals, drawing water, preparing meals. By every measure known to humanity, Job was blessed beyond comparison, the most respected man of his region. His children shared a bond rare even among close families. They gathered often, taking turns hosting feasts in their homes. The brothers would prepare tables heavy with food, and the sisters would join them, celebrating life together. Their joy echoed late into the night, and Job would hear it from afar, grateful for their unity. Yet Job's heart carried a holy concern. When the days of feasting ended, he would rise before dawn, while the world was still wrapped in silence. He summoned his children one by one, not to scold them, but to intercede for them. Standing before the altar, he offered sacrifices on their behalf. Perhaps, he would whisper in prayer, one of them has stumbled in thought or word. Perhaps a careless moment offended the Holy One. Let this offering cover them. Let mercy stand where judgment could fall. This was not a ritual born of fear, but of love. Job understood that blessings did not remove the need for reverence. Prosperity did not excuse the heart from humility. While life on earth flowed peacefully, unseen events were unfolding beyond human sight. In the realm of heaven, where the foundations of the universe rest in perfect order, the servants of God gathered before him. Among them came the accuser, the one who roams the earth observing humanity with suspicion and scorn. The Lord spoke first. "From where have you come?" "From traveling across the earth, watching its people," the accuser replied. Then the Lord asked a question that carried purpose. "Have you taken notice of my servant Job? There is no one like him, upright, blameless, devoted, and turning away from evil." The accuser's response was sharp, edged with doubt. "Does Job honor you without reason? You have placed a hedge around him. You bless his work. Everything he touches prospers. Remove what protects him, and his devotion will vanish. Strip away the gifts, and he will curse you openly." The challenge cut to the deepest question of faith. Is love for God real when reward is removed? The Lord, knowing the heart of his servant, allowed the test, but with a boundary. "All that he possesses is within your reach," he said, "but the man himself you must not harm." Permission was given, and the accuser departed, eager to prove that faith collapses when comfort is destroyed. On earth, the day began like any other. Job's children gathered in the home of the eldest brother, laughter filling the rooms. Servants guided oxen through the fields. Shepherds watched over sheep beneath open skies, and camels rested in distant pastures. Then calamity arrived without warning. A servant came running, breath broken by panic. "Raiders fell upon us," he cried. "They took the oxen and donkeys. The servants were killed. I alone escaped." Before Job could respond, another arrived, face pale with terror. "Fire fell from the heavens," he said. "The sheep and the servants were consumed. I alone survived." Still speaking, another voice interrupted. "The camels, raiders came in waves. They carried everything away and struck down the servants. I alone am left." Job's heart raced, struggling to grasp the storm of loss when the final messenger appeared. His words fell slowly, heavy with finality. "Your sons and daughters were feasting. A great wind came from the desert. It struck the house. The walls gave way. The roof collapsed. They are gone, all of them." The world stopped. In a single breath, Job lost his wealth, his livelihood, his future, and his children. Grief tore through him like a blade. He tore his robe, shaved his head, and fell to the ground, not in rage, but in surrender. Naked I came into this world, and naked I will leave it. The Lord gives, the Lord takes away. Blessed be his name. He did not curse God. He did not accuse him. Pain consumed him, but faith remained. Once more the accuser stood before the Lord.
"Have you considered my servant Job?" God asked again. "He still holds fast to his integrity, though you moved against him without cause." But the accuser pressed further. "Skin for skin, a man will give everything to save himself. Strike his body, and his faith will fail." Again, permission was granted, this time closer, more severe. "You may touch his flesh," God said, "but his life you must spare." Suffering now entered Job's own body. Painful sores erupted from head to foot. His skin cracked and burned. Fever raged. He sat among ashes, scraping his wounds with broken pottery, unrecognizable even to those who loved him. His wife, crushed by grief, stood before him. "Do you still cling to your faith?" she asked bitterly. "Curse God and let death end this misery." Job looked at her with sorrow, not anger. "You speak as one who has lost hope," he said gently. "Shall we receive good from God and refuse hardship?" He did not deny her pain. He simply refused to abandon God. When news reached his friends, Eliphaz, Bildad, and Zophar, they came to comfort him. But when they saw him, they wept aloud. They tore their garments and sat beside him in silence for 7 days, the weight of his suffering too heavy for speech. At last, Job spoke, not in accusation, but in anguish. He cursed the day of his birth, longing for rest, for relief from pain he could not understand. His friends answered, but not with compassion. They insisted that suffering must be the result of hidden sin. "Confess," they urged, "God restores the repentant." Job defended his integrity. He searched his life and found no rebellion deserving such punishment. Their words wounded him more deeply than his sores. Back and forth they argued until Job lifted his voice toward heaven. "If only I could stand before God," he cried. "I would present my case. I would ask him why." His words shifted between trust and protest, but he never stopped speaking to God. A younger man, Elihu, finally spoke. He rebuked both Job and his friends. "God does speak," he said, "through dreams, through suffering, not to destroy, but to rescue. His ways are beyond us." As he spoke, the sky darkened, wind stirred, thunder rolled. Then, from the heart of the storm, God answered. "Who is this who speaks without knowledge?" the voice thundered. "Brace yourself, I will question you." God spoke of creation, of oceans held in place, stars set in order, creatures beyond human strength. He revealed his power, not to crush Job, but to remind him of truth. Job fell silent. "I had heard of you," he whispered, "but now I see you. I place my hand over my mouth. I repent in dust and ashes." God turned to the friends. "You have spoken not rightly," he said. "Offer sacrifices and let Job pray for you." Job prayed, forgiving those who had wounded him, and God restored him. Twice the wealth, new sons and daughters, long life, peace. Job never learned the reason for his suffering, but he encountered God, and that was enough.